Good evening. Let's try it again. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Johnny Edwards, and I serve as the Director of the Secondary Education for the Kalamazoo Public Schools. Tonight, I'll be your Master of Ceremony. I know that each of you are anxiously awaiting to hear from your child or your grandchild, niece or nephew tonight, loved one. But let's first begin by hearing a welcome from our superintendent, Dr. Michael Rice. Let's give him a hand, please.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Good evening, everyone. Could we give a big round of applause for our young people this evening? It is, after all, they whom we are lifting up this evening. This is an event that's been several months, almost a full year in the making. We're working to improve our young people's literacy skills. Those begin with oral language development, perhaps something I need to work on a little bit. Reading and writing. It's important that our young people practice on a regular basis. This is a part of it. What is the central question in adolescence? Who am I? And I think you're going to hear a lot of those reflections and thoughts this evening as we work on their oral language development, their reading, their writing, their self-exploration, their development of a sense of who they are and how they're going to have an impact on our worlds. So with that said, welcome. Enjoy our performances of our young people, and I look forward to speaking with you at the very end of our event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rice, for the heartfelt welcome. Just in case you didn't feel welcome when you entered this beautiful and historic auditorium, you should feel welcome tonight. Our purpose tonight is to give our young people, our middle school students, a voice. This voice is an opportunity for us to hear from them in an artful way. In your program, you'll find the names of our students along with their middle schools and the title of their poem. Some students have decided to change their poem since the printing of the program. In some cases, you'll note that some poems are untitled, and that's okay. In case you didn't know, Tupac Shakur and Emily Dickinson are just a couple of famous poets who have left some of their work untitled. Tonight, I want to give you a little insight on how we can make this an enjoyable experience for our young people. Let me emphasize that this is not a competition. All of our students are winners tonight. It takes a lot of courage for our students at this age to speak in front of people in a different art form. To keep our students encouraged, we will ask the audience to applaud all of our students when their names are announced tonight, and also applaud after they perform their piece. Please remain quiet while the students are speaking. The performances will be roughly 90 seconds at a max. All of the poems tonight are original pieces written by our students. Some students may choose to recite their work, and others may choose to read it. Finally, we ask that all cell phones are silenced. Any noises could be a distraction to our young people. We ask all families to stay until the end of the program so that we can recognize and celebrate all of the students together. Students, you are to enter the stage to my left when your name is called, and we ask that you exit the stage to my right at the end of your piece. On the podium tonight, we also have a cordless mic in which you can use in the event that you need to walk or dance or sing. But if you're not comfortable here with the mic, you may use this cordless mic that will give you more latitude to move. Okay. Also, with the microphone, it's also connected to our video board. So if you hear yourself while you're talking or while you're performing, it's okay. That means the microphone is working properly, okay? Last but not least, I bumped into Rick, who works here at the auditorium, and he brought to my attention that today is World Poetry Day. Let's give it up for World Poetry Day. In the planning of this event, by no stretch did we know that. It just worked out that the auditorium was available, and it worked in our schedules to have our young people perform tonight. So that lets me know that this night is predestined for your success, okay? Without further ado, I have 4 people who will be serving as co-hosts. I want to introduce them. All right, from Maple Street Middle School, we have our principal, Dr. Jeff Bogan. Let's give him a hand. From Hillside, one of our teachers, Miss Evelyn Phillips. From Linden Grove, we have Miss Elizabeth McDermott. And from Millwood Magnet School, we also have Miss Connolly Jenkins. My wonderful co-hosts will introduce their students from their respective schools. Again, the students are listed in program alphabetically by last name. And again, some titles have changed, but you'll find those out as they perform tonight. Our first introducer is Dr. Jeff Bogan.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. I want to bring to the stage at this time Virginia Abbott, who will share with us Invisible Tears. Come on forward. As her principal, I stand corrected. It is untitled.
I wipe away a single tear. 3 more form to take its place, like trying to kill a hydra. 1 wiped away, 3 more fall. 5 tears slowly dripping down my face. The corners of my lips curl, a smirk turns into a smile into a laugh. I look insane, but I don't care. Mascara pooled around my eyes, lips smeared, product of my morning attempt to be noticed as feminine. I wipe it off. I wipe it all off, and I look in the mirror at someone who is me, myself, and I. Not someone who tries to hide their flaws because of their insecurities. Not someone who needs the consent of others to feel beautiful. I look at myself, and I smile. I am happy. I am me.
I'd like to introduce to you Amaya Otley. She's in the 6th grade. And her poem is entitled Howl.
Okay. Amaya Eartley, Howl. I see a light from the night, only from the moon. The hunter wants my fur, but I will not give it to him. But it's too late. The last thing I hear is my howl.
Please join me in welcoming Abby Doonan from Linden Grove Middle School with USA.
Sometimes I wonder what people consider perfect. How can people say the United States is perfect? I mean, every time I walk down the street, I see people silently judging me because I am myself. Like, sorry, but your opinion is not the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning and the last when I fall to sleep at night. What do you expect from me? Do you want some sort of model? Well, sorry, I'm not the Barbie you've been dreaming about. Sorry, I am flawed. And since that is what people desire, favorable opinions from everyone, they become insecure because they can't get that. You know what that leads to? Depression. It's sad to see young, innocent children self-harming. It's not just kids. Adults are repressed too. What can sorrow lead to? Suicide. It's sad to face reality, but if you're depressed, death is probably staring you right in the eyes. And right when you aren't looking, it'll stab you right in the chest. Like, I'm over here thinking to myself, wow, our society will go extinct really quick. I mean, isn't it sad watching people immigrate to the United States? They think it is a land of hopes and dreams. But in reality, they're joining a mental war. It's like, hey, welcome to the US, where you shouldn't eat McDonald's because it'll make you fat. I know it's tempting, but you don't want to be judged. Oh, and make sure you listen to what others think of you because they are right. You really are ugly. Oh, by the way, you just entered the pit of fire, not the land of milk and honey you expected. LOL.
Our next poet is Danica Dunning from Hillside, and she is also in the 6th grade. Her poem is entitled By Myself.
By myself. By myself. By Danica Dunning. When I'm by myself, I close my eyes. I dream. I dream a dream so bright, I feel as if the dream is live. The birds sing a melody so sweet, the joy of the music lifts me off my feet. Wishing the dream was really happening, but yet I remember I'm just napping. And when I open my eyes, my dream was a reflection of my life. When I'm by myself, I can imagine my joy-filled night.
And also from Hillside is Imani Etheridge. And her poem is entitled They Shoot.
They shoot. They shoot because we look suspicious. They shoot because we look harmful. They shoot the children because they didn't want to take a chance on our innocent souls growing up and becoming someone great one day. They shoot the mothers because they want the sons and daughters to end up in a dark corner, alone. They shoot the fathers because they fear that the sons will learn how to be better fathers. A gun. A weapon used to hurt someone, even kill. They shoot because they think the color of our skin is dark. They often label us calling us black, but the last time I checked, we're all human. Not because we breathe the same air, come from the same place, but the only thing that separates us from standing together as one is because of the color of our skin. If we were to be blinded only for a second, we would not know who was black and who was white, but that we were human. These thoughts running through my mind. Why is it the way that we look that someone can predict our future, telling us we won't make it anywhere, no matter how hard we may try, discarding us with hatred because we are succeeding? The bullet inside the gun ready to escape, sharp and fast, like the threatening words you say to us. The trigger ready to be pulled to release the feelings you have built up inside. The gun isn't responsible for the bodies lying on the ground, but it's the person who pulls the trigger that's responsible for ending a life. The life is connected to generations of people that connects all of us. But once you kill one of us, you hurt us all. You're hurting my brothers and sisters who didn't deserve it at all. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to bring to the stage Emma Hilgard Griff. And what she will be sharing with us tonight is Untitled.
love food. It's genuinely hard to explain how much I love food. My memories are all rooted in food since I can remember. It might have started when my friend group got labeled the organics because we ate homemade tomato soup, not cheeseburgers. And none of us had ever been to McDonald's. We were a pretty exotic group. And every time I taste brie cheese, I think of Easter, and the taste of kale chips reminds me of my first kiss. I can't help that every time I taste balsamic vinegar, the memory of doing a vinegar shot bubbles up into my brain. 7th grade lunches, right? I'm sure that when I was choking and crying, it wasn't very funny, but now I look back on it with particular fondness. Ah, my wild days of youthful. And baked potatoes make me think of eating whole baked sweets at the farmer's market. We would keep them in our pockets to keep our hands warm before we ate them. I've come back to the conclusion that food is the core of my life. I was raised by foodies, and I'll raise my children to be foodies. Because you haven't lived if you don't know what a chestnut tastes like, and the way they remind you of woolen sweaters. My life is a lot like a chef's salad. It's sweet, sour, bitter, salty, rotten. It's delicious. I've relished every bit.
Our next poet is Harmony Holt from Linden Grove Middle School with Freedom.
Look up to the heavens, let love rain down. Don't look back, don't give up now. We want peace, yet don't stand to our feet. Don't sit back and chill, letting us face defeat. We will rise and stand tall, letting our bodies be as a wall, to deflect the fiery darts of all who sprawl. Not letting any man be left behind. We must help save our own kind. Look up to the heavens, let love rain down. Once we place our feet on solid ground, no one will be able to frown. We will look up and smile with no despair in the air, letting freedom reign from everywhere. No person too big, no person too small. We need everyone's help to knock down this wall. The walls of hatred and the walls of dread, not shooting each other till one falls dead. Love each other with hearts of pure gold, not letting them crust over and be covered in mold. We're powerful. There's so much strength in you and me. We're powerful. A breath away from victory. I matter, you matter, we matter. I matter, you matter, we matter.
Next to the stage is Megan Hybos. She will be sharing Red Theater. They're making me work tonight. She switched up on us to an apology. An apology.
Okay, an apology by me. I have something that I must admit, for I kept it what I'd sworn I'd quit. I am filled with regret, overcome by shame, but I wouldn't want you to carry my blame. For I made a few more notches that bubbled up and left red blotches. Scratches that were from the dog. I'm sorry, friend, I did you wrong. But try and understand my hate, because I did to myself, because I was easy bait.
And next is Darrell Johnson from Hillside Middle School. He's an 8th grader, and his poem is entitled Alcatraz for Children.
Our cries for freedom are never heard in Canaan, but the wrongly convicted are known to echo in our tomb, made from the strongest titanium, used for ourselves, forever trapped within these cursed brick walls. Like the final resting place of Khufu's pyramid coffin, when we are allowed to roam free in the prison yard, and we feel the sun's welcoming kiss on our skin, the caged feeling of boundary is enacted, and our eyes fall to the gravel beneath our prison boots with the common knowledge that past your patch of land is hostile and primitive lands. Uncivilized is the norm. And if borders are crossed, a new world war begins, drawing in many enemies, and if you're lucky, allies as well. A war without a reason, a gang without a purpose, a child without a voice. Suggested by the sharply dressed and powerful warden, we spent our free hours with childhood scholars, gaining knowledge for the doubtful hope that the doors will open and a new life will be our gift. And our services, our services will be needed for society, but our paychecks always low. Within these corridor-like hallways, one bad move could be the death of you. And the lines in the mess hall are a time of claustrophobia and alertness, because this room is packed as tight as a box of sardines, and any sort of contact will result in a violent beating, like metal on wood or bone. Or even worse, having that key-stirred instrument thrust in that small but essential jugular in your throat, then having the world slip away from your vision in seconds. Tasks that are do or die, given from hated authorities that decide our fate, both in and outside these prison walls. Somehow, at the end of the day, when the scholars encourage our efforts with their deceptive tongues, we are put at ease to cite our mistaken convictions.
Next to the stage, we have Cameron Kimbrough, who will be sharing with us Go Back.
Oh, this is really high. Okay, there. Okay. Go Back by Cameron Kimbrough. If I could go back, I would change, fix my mistakes and unscratch my scars, make a new me. My lies would all be truth, my wounds non-existent. Put the good in where bad was, make everything perfect, all memories sweet and sickle. But what good am I unscarred, uninformed of the hurt I caused? I'd be a robot, only knowing the good, never bad. When I sit here on this mic, I'm Cameron, a well-meaning teenager who couldn't be herself without half of the problems she caused. When I sing, write poems, I am me. When I laugh and snort loudly, I am me. Without lies, there can't be truth. Good can't be without bad. They need each other like I need them in order to be me. Thank you.
Our next poet is Brandon Mosley, 8th grader from Hillside Middle School, and his poem is called Birds.
Hello. Birds come to steal our prize, regardless of the size. So why not take from you or I if they take from the lion? In bliss, I fly above, and suddenly I see a vulture come for me. So, like many, I seek cover. I go below. I go below average, below height, below sight. I go below I go. And even when we see gold, a golden opportunity, a golden door, we are blocked by the inevitable, the vulture, and always waiting for more. And it seems our desire, our odds, our destination is taken. But we must work. We're below, but we build a tunnel. They've stolen one chance, but we make another. We make a plan B, a plan bird. We own this. We make this our nest. You see, we push the odds. We make our own door. We go beyond them. Our home we call success. Thank you.
Next to the stage, we have Riley Nelson. All right. Riley will be sharing with us the knower.
The knower, untouched by time, yet weathered all the same, always watching, seeing all. Yet no one bothers to see me. They step on me and kick me, believing that I'm lower. I am a pebble. I am the knower.
Our next poet will be Leah Nyan from Linden Grove Middle School, and she'll be performing Finding Hope.
Finding hope. Words being thrown, tears running down her bright red cheeks, the thoughts in her head. Why does she feel this way? Why does she do the things she does? She may never find the answers, but she's trying to get better, trying to stop everything from going downhill, trying to have hope. Nobody there for her, no hero to save her, but she believes one day she will find her hope she's always wished for. She knows it will be hard, but she knows she'll get herself back on track. She may never have anybody to stand by her, nobody to guide the way, but she can find her own flashlight. She knows she'll find hope. No clues about where to go, but she can navigate with a map. She knows she'll find hope. She keeps her head held high and believes one day she will find her hope.
Next, we have Stephen Olson. Stephen will be sharing with us, I Am a Storyteller.
I Am a Story Writer by Stephen Olson. I am a story writer. I see the words come off the pages of my notebook. I hear the words fly off the pages across the sky. I feel the poem in my heart. I wonder if the poems go into our hearts. I am a story writer. I feel my poems come to life. I know the poems on the page will touch the hearts of the readers. I love the stories and poems I write. I hope the poems touch the hearts of the audience. I am a story writer.
Our next poet will be Felix Owinga from Linden Grove Middle School with Pride. So we have a little change. It's going to be ungratefulness.
Are you not grateful for what you possess? If not, then there's a truth that you must confess. Don't need the iPhone 6 or the Galaxy Edge. All you need is food, water, shelter, and the pledge. Enjoy small pleasures like that of spring. Just remember that there can be too much of a good thing. Having lots doesn't guarantee a happy life. Rather, it can pile on more stress and strife. Thank you.
Our next poetess is Trinity Peoples, a 6th grader from Hillside Middle School, and her poem is called Love.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Love. Love is what they say you see at first sight, but I say love is what you learn. Love is like a lesson. It's a session in training. Love is a choice and a decision.
Love is strong. It's the thing that holds everyone together. Love is what the world is made of and what I am made of.
We will go on to the next from Millwood Magnet, though, and that is Ariana Reese. She is here, and her poem is Dark Poem.
Too much light. Dark poem, a poem of negative emotion. I write one word after another, and as my mind spills onto this page, I am unable to see because of all the darkness and all the rage. Another day to cry, another teardrop from my eye. Some days as I go on, I just wish that I could die. Take my name in vain, then I will make you understand. Then I take your soul so you may never love again. Beat me, break me, hate and stake me till I weep and cry. The best day of my life will be the very day I die. Tell me how I'm ugly, then surely you can see this cruel world I live in full of hate, judgment, and me. But now I'm growing stronger, but with darkness in my heart. Shrieking pains and burning flames is my new way of art. But before I end this story and before I say goodbye, just know there is a big part of my heart that's as bright as the summer sky. Thank you.
I'd like to invite to the stage Layla Roberts. Layla will be sharing with us My African American. My African American Heritage.
My hair is twisted like curly fries and Twizzlers. My hair is black like a stray cat creeping in the shining moonlight. With my hair, I am free. My hair can change like a transformer's personality. It can twist, it can curl, it can frizz, it can poof, it can bounce. It can lay flat on my back. That's why I love my African American beautiful hair.
The next poet is Javion Serene, and his poem is Mind Over Matter.
Bruised, beat, shrouded in hate, thought to be doomed to follow life's dastardly fate, broken, snap. Sometimes I feel broken, unable to be outspoken, constantly thinking, what reason would someone have to listen to me? None. So I kept my mouth shut, never to talk much, not because I couldn't, it's just that I wouldn't, and that I thought I shouldn't. And I had been that way for years, blocked and stopped from being outspoken by my fears. Just in my head, I could hear the gears going tick-tock. Sometimes the ticking would never stop, and that was the only thing I wished for. And then one day, tick-tock, my clock stopped, and it was finally my time. Stop time. I was in a place where nothing existed but I and my mind. I found myself unable to rewind, and then I was trying to remember the memories that I left behind. And then there I was, in adolescence. Behind me was the old me, and ahead of me was the new. I was confused as to what I was supposed to do. I had no clue. Sometimes thinking that nobody cared about me, and I was unable to remember. My mom had taken care of me all my life. My dad wasn't there all my life, but I still know that he cared. And everybody who was behind me always had my back. I developed this state of mind, this mind over matter philosophy, personality over appearance. Don't judge somebody by what they look like, but rather who they are. We have had many great people fight for this, Martin Luther King and many others, yet people still go by racism and the choices of what others of the same color were doing.
Our next poem is brought to us by Abby Sokolowski, an 8th grader at Hillside Middle School. And her poem is called Because Screw Destiny.
When we're little, we dream of Neverland with Peter Pan, fairies, and mermaids. Our journeys never end the way we think they will. Fate always twists our destinies, but why follow what is written for us? Why not scratch it and write our own stories? Fate and destiny have decided in the past, and no one makes their own choice. Why not turn the tables on fate? My Neverland has changed so much over my time. My dreams leave me confused some nights. But I think it's my way of saying I'm not following fate. I will create my own road. I hold my own pen with my own book. My fate will lead up because of the choices I make. I don't honestly know where I'll end up, but I can assure you my life will be my own. I hold my candle. Destiny will not decide for me because wherever I end up, I know I'll have gotten there on my own.
Our next poet will be Zariana Tyler from Linden Grove Middle School with Obsessed.
Perfection, something everyone is obsessed with. Obsessed, something everyone is with perfection. Kylie lips, Nikki hips, J-Lo face. Forever young, always ace. It's like the procedure of a plastic surgeon. One slip you make, and it's all over. I'm sorry I'm not a Barbie doll. I'm sorry I'm not your shoddy. Wipe off that make it and exit that party. A puzzle piece you just can't fit, all but wishing there was another. A constellation you just can't find, hoping for something just to bind. You have all of these imperfections, you just have to have that skinny midsection. You chant mirror, mirror, wanting something more. Who is fairest of them all? You think not I, but you never know. Nikki hips with Kylie lips, have that J-Lo face. Fix yourself up to that forever young, of which seems to be always ace. Happiness doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It just means that you've decided to see life beyond the imperfections. You can't be perfect, no one can. Though you want to see that reflection, even Barbie has her imperfections.
Mary Jane Watts will be our next poet, 6th grader from Hillside Middle School, and her poem is called A Friend. Oh, did I say that wrong? I did. I said it wrong. Yes, a correction. It is Without You.
The moments that haunt our hearts, the words that torment those we love and eat at our soul for their birth within us, for those awkward pauses and nights in which time is consumed in pain and anguish, all of them, I claim and embrace, because without you, my heart and soul would not have lived. In pain and suffering, I have learned that without you, my world would have crumbled at my feet, for you are my world. Without you, I would not go on. Without you, night creeps up behind me, and emptiness will not escape me. The darkness consumes me and eats my very heart. I reach out, I grasp, but cannot see your face. I can't escape emptiness.
And now we have Ivana Williams bringing to us a poem called A Friend. She's a 6th grader from Hillside Middle School.
A friend. A friend I need, a friend who believes in me. A friend I can hold close to my heart, even when we're miles apart. A friend is like a fresh breeze at ease whenever I'm in need.
This friend of mine glows. Why is she happy? Who knows? As long as she shines, she's a friend of mine. A friend that God sent my way. Thank God we are still friends today. A friend that makes life worth living. Her support is like a feeling that has filled my heart. We will stay together. We cannot part. In this relationship, there is no hate. This is my friend to the end.
All right, the next poet is Quinyana Woodruff, and there's a change in poem, and it's I'm Gone.
I'm gone. There are things that I hide, my body, arms, legs, and my secrets, but no one will know what I went through. My mother and father does not love me. Cut number 1. Bullied at school. 4. No attention at all. The little blade goes deeper for 3 more. Embarrassed, even deeper for the last 2. All I see is the natural tan tile of the floor, but no more. The only color I see is red. On my body from head to toe, my eyes feel heavy, I want to sleep. My head hits the floor as darkness overcomes me. I hear the cries of my mother and father for me to wake up, but it's too late. I'm gone.
Can we give a round of applause for all of our students tonight? A job well done to all of our students tonight on your original pieces. Tonight there were a lot of deep messages in some of the things that our young people talked about. Also, what I noticed with many of our young people, they had their own poetry journals. And that's an opportunity to have something at your bedside or in your locker in which you can reflect upon and write upon your experiences and other things. So job well done to all of our young people. Let's give it up for them one more time. Also, I would like to recognize our teachers who were a part of this event, and they work with many of the young people after school. Some of them created new clubs, and I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask them all to stand. Actually, from the Alternative Learning Program, in our back we have Miss Janelle Gibson. If you can please stand, please. Both Stephanie Hampton and Karina Hilbert. Stephanie, Miss Hampton from Maple Street, and Miss Hilbert from Hillside were unable to be here tonight, but let's still give them a round of applause as well. From Millwood Magnet School, Miss Jenkins, if you can give her a round of applause. From Linden Grove, Miss McDermott. And in Miss Hilbert's absent, Miss Phillips, she also stepped in for Miss Hilbert. Let's give her a hand. So some of you in the program may have noticed that the Alternative Learning Program was not mentioned specifically on the inside. Some of the students performed tonight worked with Miss Gibson while they were there, and they have since returned to their home school. So the mentioning of the Alternative Learning Program is no error, but we also appreciate Miss Gibson and her work at the Alternative Learning Program with them. We also just want to thank our middle school principals. 4 of the 5 of the principals are here tonight. Mr. Lesueur from Millwood, just wait, give us the King's Way. Mr. Craig McCain from Linden Grove. We also have Mr. Atiba McKissick from Hillside. There he is. Dr. Jeff Bogan, who's on stage at Maple Street. And we also want to recognize Ms. Freisen from the Alternative Learning Program, who was unable to be here tonight. Other thank yous as well. Alex Lee, our communications director, he helped us secure the date and secure this facility. We also want to thank Mr. Ray Jenkins, who's our auditorium manager here at Chenery Auditorium. He also is the one responsible for allowing us to be here tonight. We also want to just make a mention of a video that was recorded tonight. So at the bottom of the inside of your program are some instructions on how you can connect to this video within the next week. And I'm not going to read this to you in your entirety, but we ask that you keep the program, and this video will appear on our website within the next week. All of the information on how to download the video is inside of our program. We also want to thank and recognize my assistant, who's not here tonight, Chris Froman. She put together the nice graphics that you see in the program tonight, as well as the posters that were displayed in our respective schools. We appreciate her work as well. Last but not least, we also want to appreciate our superintendent, who's our visionary, who wanted to make sure our young people had an opportunity to express themselves. So let's also give it up for our superintendent, Dr. Rice. We have other administrators also in the audience, and let's give it up for our other school administrators, assistant principals, as well as the central office administrators. And for our final remarks, Dr. Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. One more round of applause for our students, please. You know, I can see these young people in just a few years speaking at high school graduations, or at college graduations, or participating in speech and debate competitions, or perhaps leading in one way, shape, or form in their communities. That's what I expect and can imagine for all of them. Not some of them, but for all of you. I thought you did a terrific job. One more round of applause for them this evening. Like to appreciate Johnny Edwards and Chris Froman. Could we give them a round of applause, please? You know, the first time I saw this in the Kalamazoo Public Schools was at the Middle School Alternative Learning Program. And that was with the vision of Ms. Janelle Gibson, Ms. Stephanie Hampton. Give them a round of applause, separate and distinct from the earlier round of applause. This really began in the district at the Middle School Alternative Learning Program, which in many ways is saving young people in the district, is working to redirect them and put them on better paths. And some of that is through writing. Some of that is through that effort to explore oneself, to figure out who one is on paper. So there's power to that. So thank you, Ms. Gibson, in absentia, Ms. Hampton as well. To all of our teachers, co-hosts, to Dr. Bogan, who had a difficult evening with the changes in poetry. But you know, that's to the spirit of our children, who I think on a fairly regular basis are reinventing their work and themselves. That's what it is to be 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, isn't it? Making decisions on the fly about who they are and what they are, and that's not a bad thing. It can be a little bit challenging when you're putting together a program. But that's all right. We're working with them. We appreciate our principals and our assistant principals. We appreciate our assistant superintendent for teaching and learning services, Dr. Deb Piotrowski, who's here this evening. I appreciate my Board of Education. I see a couple Board of Education members here. Board President Patty Schaller-Barber, Board Vice President Carol McGlynn. Are there any other board members who are here this evening? It's never a good thing to forget your board. I believe in the power of children to change the world. I believe in the power of children to change. I believe in the power of children too. Believe in the power of children. Believe in the power of children. Believe in the power of children. In the power of children, like all of you tonight. I believe in you. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Have a good night.